Guy that ran over the dog.
I know. That's sad, isn't it?
It is very sad.
Yeah. She called the driver, the guy that ran over the dog, called him a name.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
I didn't hear her.
The dog who owned the dam, a black Labrador mix. They would fix a brown bag for his lunch. He would ride on the truck to work with the workers, and he would lay his lunch brown bag over with the workers where they left their lunch pails. And then at lunchtime, he would go over with them, get his own lunch. The dog wandered freely around the job site. He went up ladders, over catwalks, through tunnels, even rode the open air elevator, and he'd bark at the operator when he wanted to get off. He's buried right here. Sadly, is run over by a supply truck carrying steel right in this area, and the workers buried him right here the same day. They poured concrete over him, put him in a canvas bag, and he's interned right here. And this is a plaque in his honor. The Boulder Dam Mascot.
Oh yeah, he was out on that there.
Yeah, like that.
Who?
The guy that ran over the dog.
I know. That's sad, isn't it?
It is very sad.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining my video today. I want to tell you a story about the dog who owned the dam. He was a stray pup who was born under the Boulder City Police Department front porch. He was a black lab mix. What ends up happening is one day, a few of the Boulder Dam workers pick up the pup and they bring him to work with them. He hangs out at the job site all day. Eventually, he learns around 7 a.m. that the workers will line up to get on the trucks to make the 3-mile drive to the work site. He would jump on board with them, take the ride. And then about closing time or quitting time around 5 o'clock, they'd work long hot days. He would mosey on over to the buses, the trucks, and head back home to Boulder City. Every day at lunchtime, the workers got into a bad habit where they would throw their scraps, their leftovers, to the dog. They would overfeed him with candy, cookies, apples, grapes. And the dog becomes sick. So they collect money by placing a bucket at the entrance. They take the dog to the vet. He fully recovers. The veterinarian places in the local Boulder City newspaper this ad as though it came from the dog himself. I love candy, but it makes me sick. It is also bad for my coat. Please don't feed me anymore. Your friend, Nig. Well, this is in the early 30s. We weren't so politically correct then. The dog was a black lab. But for the remainder of this video, I'll refer to him as the Boulder Dam Mascot. He'd ride the trucks around the work site. He would bark when he wanted to get off. The driver would patiently pull over, let him off. The open air elevator, he would ride amongst the workers. Never seemed to be in the way. They enjoyed his company. He had nerves of steel dangling from outer space with everybody else. This is a catwalk he would walk over. My first trip here to Hoover Dam was 1982. It's called Hoover Dam today. I distinctly remember walking past the gravesite of the dog, and on the wall, I remember seeing the name Nig. It also talked about on the plaque, what the dog did in the construction of the dam, his involvement, and how beloved he was by most of the co-workers. Well, since I think it was 85, 86, there was a letter writing campaign petitioning the Department of Interior to remove the plaque, which they've done, and they put up something that they feel isn't so offensive as you see it today. But the Boulder Dam Mascot was dearly loved by most of the workers, but occasionally some felt that he's in the way and they'd kick him out of the way. These are very hot days, 125 degrees some days. So a co-worker would do this, and if a foreman saw him do it, he'd actually get written up and warned. And if it continued, the foreman would actually walk the worker off the job site and terminate him. Hoover Dam gets about 7 million visitors per year. Most of them come from Las Vegas when you're in town. This location is about 32 miles east of Las Vegas. It's actually on the Nevada-Arizona border. But they do offer a complete tour. You can go down throughout the dam and see the inner workings. There's also a side building that you can go in and watch a presentation on how the dam was built and how it functions today. I gotta tell you, every time I'm here, there are several people around a gravesite of the Boulder Dam Mascot. It's so heartwarming to me to watch them read the plaque in his honor. Black labs live between 10 and 12 years old. I believe the Boulder Dam Mascot was about 10 years old before he lost his life that particular day. He was laying underneath the truck, one of those hot days, as I mentioned before. He was laying underneath the truck, getting some shade, and the driver didn't notice him under there. On this intake tower has Nevada time, and then across the Colorado River is the Arizona. That'll give you the Arizona time. That's another intake tower. Well, here's a few of the 7 million right now. Smile!
Got several angles. Like the last one is kind of blurry. Check it to make sure that at least part of it is good.
I want to talk just a little about why the Boulder Canyon was constructed. Several of these western states would spill water into the Colorado. The Colorado would deposit silt along the way, occasionally turning into a raging river, causing agriculture damage along the way. In 1928, the Boulder Project Canyon Act was passed. The construction of the Boulder Dam began on 1931, giving much needed jobs to American citizens during the Depression. One of the first things they had to do was build 2 diversion tunnels on the Arizona side and then 2 on the Nevada side. These tunnels are 56 feet in diameter. This is as it looks today. The water is down 170 feet. Pretty sad and scary when you live in Las Vegas. They had to divert the water so they could work on Boulder Dam. Well, the next thing the men had to do was blast the sides out of the canyon here. And I was just thinking, how'd you like to be the workers who built this structure right here on the side? That's quite a drop down from there, several feet. That you got to be pretty brave. Here they are blasting out the sides. They're using dynamite. The sounds of the dynamite could be heard 30 miles away in Las Vegas. And there's days when the dust would also settle in the Las Vegas area. Once they did that, workers would rappel over the side of the walls. And this is the highest paying job in building the dam. They would loosen debris and kick it down into the bottom, hanging by a thread. Here's a worker steering the truck with his left foot. I just wonder what OSHA would think of this today. Overall, there were 5,000 men employed in building the dam. There were 96 deaths. Some died of heat exhaustion. Others died of carbon monoxide within the tunnels with all those trucks going in and out. Some died due to falls, but they're tough men. They got the job done 2 years in advance. This project was so big that there are 6 different corporations that had to form one company called 6 companies in order to handle a project of this size. On September 30th, 1935, President Roosevelt travels to Boulder Dam to dedicate and celebrate the feat of engineering accomplished through public and private partnership. This pole located here today has a gold ball on top of it. It points to the exact spot where the sun was the day President Roosevelt was in town to dedicate the dam to the American people. This is a cable system that was used to carry supplies and the men around the dam. It still stands today. A marvelous feat in engineering. In recent years, this bridge has been added, taking you from Nevada to Arizona, saving you at least 30 minutes of travel time. Back in the day, you'd have to drive over the dam to get to Arizona. Man, I tell you, this is just breathtaking up here. I kind of want to stay here all day. What a beautiful accomplishment for mankind. Once the dam was completed and it was 2 years ahead of schedule and came in under budget, the men continued to be on the payroll during the Great Depression, building this stone wall up towards Las Vegas. That's very good news. Thanks for watching this video, and I want to dedicate it to the Boulder Dam Mascot.